So you're saying that I could reach out to the court and request a deferment and instead of dealing with certain consequences that may occur in court for this matter. I got you. What's going on, guys? It is your man in black, the Badwolf. Once again, I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Let's get going. This particular video is about a deferment. What is a deferment? Who can use it? What is it about? Let's work on this together, shall we? So glad you guys are here. As always, welcome to the tribe. Hit that bell, like, and subscribe. First time here, welcome. This is the channel where you're going to get the law, the legal, common law, private law, constitutional law, and how to operate in and out of all of those things, including being public or private, and all the things that so very few know about. Now, for those people who don't know, I have a new seminar page, which these are paid streaming videos. Okay, well, not all, but a good chunk, about 75, 80% of the good stuff that they don't want you to know in video form in my seminar videos. And that website is jamesclovett.com. JAMESC as in cash, LOVETT.com. Otherwise, my normal stuff is on blacksite32.com. Now, a lot of people keep coming to me and they're asking me like, "Oh, never heard of you." I've never tried to be famous, more or less like low key infamous. And I really just wanted to get this information out there. I've been doing this for over 40 years as of now. Started when I was 9 years old and got heavy into it when I was 19. So when somebody asks me, what do I think about so and so? When I was doing this, there was only a handful of us. So if it's somebody who's just now getting on boat, I mean, that's why me and there's a Skeeter in here. He's going to get me. He's going to get me. I mean, that's why me and some of these old timers and whoever else started doing this is for you guys to pick up the torch. We're not trying to be 80 years old and still doing this. We will. We'll hold the door open as long as we can, but y'all need to pick this up. Y'all need to learn this. It doesn't matter. I've been getting these remedies in the private for years, and I've worked with multimillionaires. I've worked with people in different fraternities and different organizations. Okay. Law enforcement, different types. I've worked with all these people publicly and privately. All right. But yeah, I don't know a lot of these young guys. Some of them have used my information and learned from me, and some of them went on to do their own things, and some of them I don't know. So I don't know the people's processes and whatever else. I'm not here to learn their processes. I've got what I want to get done. But all I can tell you is be careful of anybody's process if they're not showing you where they're getting the information, the proof in the pudding, their bank accounts, or they're having you do something and they don't have any receipts for it. All right. Because, and especially, even if you put all that aside, especially if it's involving getting money from the government or some system or whatever else, be careful. Almost everything else you can explain away. But if you mess with their forms and their files and you're trying to get crazy money and all these other things, that doesn't mean that there are some of them aren't real. But I guarantee you, 99% of the people you're seeing offering and talking about these big money making things, they're not real. The real people who make money aren't on YouTube doing this kind of thing. They're marketing for themselves, or they're using that to bring you in to get that little bit of money to then actually have their money. Most people who have a lot of money, they're out doing business and traveling and whatever else. They're not doing this. Okay. There's a huge disconnect. All right, but anyway, if you see anybody using any of my information or talking about me in any kind of negative way, form, shape, format, in a defamational type of way, which is a suable offense, go ahead and find their video or channel and report them and all of that for that. And I thank you guys in advance. Because if you're not for me and the Constitution and just bringing it to you, your rights and freedoms and liberties, then you are what the founding fathers call as a traitor to these United States of America, for America. Okay. So, what do we have here? Once again, I brought up the mention or the topic of the deferment. So, let's take a look at what a deferment is. And this is something that I had in my VIP area. So, we're going to bring it to the forefront now. So, once again, if you don't know, you can go on to youtube.com/ @ the Badwolf or search Badwolf Unincorporated and find my YouTube channel. On there, you can become a member of my VIP by clicking the little subscribe. Once you click subscribe or join, you can then pick a level that you want to support me monthly, and that gets you access to the VIP member only videos on YouTube. For the seminar videos, that's on jamesclovett.com, and those will just pay as you want. There's also a good price for all of the videos, but I think there's like 2 or 3 that are not included because they won't let me add additional videos into the pack. So there's like 2 that are separate. Otherwise, all the good information, free files, and interesting things, remedies, things to help you out, for rent or health or teeth or whatever it is, blacksite32.com. All right, so let's get over to the page. And thank you guys for helping to spread the information about me and this information and what we do here. Because I know YouTube is not trying to help. They actually shadow ban a lot of my information. And of course, certain 3-letter agencies like to pull down some of my videos from time to time. So that's why we had to go private with a lot of things. Now, let's get to it. So a deferred adjudication, okay, or adjudication. All right, adjudicate. So let's start right here and let's read a little bit.
A deferred adjudication, also known in some jurisdictions as an adjournment in contemplation of dismissal, ACOD, probation before judgment, PBJ, or deferred entry of judgment, DEJ, is a form of plea deal available in various jurisdictions, where a defendant pleads guilty or no contest to criminal charges in exchange for meeting certain requirements laid out by the court within an allotted period of time also ordered by the court. Upon completion of the requirements, which may include probation, treatment, community service, some form of community supervision, or some other diversion program, the defendant may avoid a formal conviction on their record or have their case dismissed. 1. In some cases, an order of non-disclosure can be obtained, and sometimes a record can be expunged. Procedure. Edit. In a deferred adjudication, the criminal case that resulted in the deferred adjudication will often remain part of a permanent record. The extent to which the record of a deferral can be discovered or disclosed varies by jurisdiction. For example, even if not available to the general public, the record may remain visible to law enforcement and for some government background checks, such as enlistment in the military or employment with a government agency. Some jurisdictions allow for the record to be rendered inaccessible to the public or private sector background checks. Anyone offered deferred adjudication in exchange for a guilty plea should first consult their attorney regarding the exact consequences of doing so. Criminal records after deferred adjudication. Edit. In some jurisdictions, defendants who have completed a deferred adjudication for a criminal charge may not be eligible for expungement of their criminal record, such that even though the charge was dismissed, there remains a public record of their criminal prosecution. As no conviction was finalized, it may not be possible to remove this criminal record as might have been possible as a result of a pardon or clemency following a criminal conviction. For example, in the U.S. state of Texas, a defendant may obtain an expungement following a deferred disposition for a Class C misdemeanor, 2, But for any other deferred dispositions, a defendant must obtain a pardon before the record may be expunged, although some defendants may be able to have their records sealed following a waiting period. 3.
Okay. Let's jump over to chat. What is a deferral in the context of court and alternative actions versus um, prosecution?
In the context of court proceedings and criminal prosecution, a deferral refers to a judicial or prosecutorial decision to postpone prosecution or sentencing on certain conditions, often giving the defendant an opportunity to avoid a conviction if they comply. Here's the breakdown in legal distinction. A deferral is when the prosecutor or court pauses or suspends the normal criminal process, plea, conviction, sentencing, or adjudication, and gives the defendant a chance to meet specific conditions, such as probation, restitution, treatment, or community service.
So adjudication just means to be judged, actually going to being judged. That's all that really means. All right. So what they're basically saying is that let's say you've got a speeding ticket or a this or a that, blah, blah, blah. And instead of being found necessarily guilty, you request a deferral. You're basically telling them, what other types of probation, restitution, treatment, or community service can I do? Highway cleanup or serve food at the homeless shelter, uh, you know, uh, give back massages to the elderly, whatever it is that you can do essentially to not have to face any type of being, judgment or sentencing. Okay, let's keep going.
Service. If completed successfully, the case may be dismissed, reduced, or not pursued further. It is essentially a wait-and-see alternative to prosecution. Balance scale. Common types of deferral. Deferred prosecution, pre-trial diversion/pre-trial intervention. Prosecution agrees not to move forward if the defendant complies with conditions, e.g., stay arrest-free, attend treatment, pay restitution. If successful, charges are dismissed. If unsuccessful, prosecution resumes.
Resume.
Deferred adjudication/deferred judgment. The court accepts a plea but does not enter a formal judgment of guilt. Defendant must complete probation or conditions. If successful, no conviction on record, though arrest may still show. If unsuccessful, court enters conviction and sentencing. Deferred sentencing. Defendant is found guilty or pleads, but sentencing is postponed for a period. If defendant complies with conditions, sentencing may be lighter, reduced, or waived. Prosecution, normal path: arrest, charge, plea/trial, conviction, or acquittal, sentence.
Okay, keep going.
Deferral, alternative path. Case is paused or conditionally suspended. Defendant completes court-ordered program, treatment, or restitution. If completed, case dismissed, reduced, or never formally prosecuted. If failed, prosecution resumes as if no deferral was granted. Balance scale. Legal principles behind deferral. Constitutional basis. Courts have discretion in sentencing and prosecutors have discretion in charging. Deferral is a recognized use of prosecutorial discretion and judicial discretion under due process. Statutory basis. Most states codify deferred prosecution or deferred adjudication programs, sometimes only for first-time or low-level offenders. Common law basis, rooted in the principle that punishment should be rehabilitative rather than purely punitive, especially for minor or first-time offenses. Would you like me to draft a comparison chart showing deferral versus dismissal versus diversion versus probation, so you can clearly see all distinctions?
Okay, so I'm going to ask it.
ChatGPT can make mistakes.
This is true. Everything is education, entertainment, satire only. When can a deferral be requested and who can do it?
Excellent question. This goes to the procedural posture of when a deferral is even on the table and who has standing or discretion to request or grant it. Let's break it down in proper legal context. Before charges are filed, pre-charge stage.
Okay. So it says when a deferral can be requested before charges are filed. So basically at any point in time before.
Sometimes a defense attorney can negotiate with the prosecutor to accept a pre-trial diversion or deferred prosecution agreement instead of formally filing charges. Example: defendant voluntarily agrees to counseling, restitution, or community service if completed, no charge ever filed. After charges are filed, before trial. Most common stage. Defendant, through counsel, files a motion or negotiates with prosecutor for deferred adjudication/prosecution. Judge usually must approve the agreement. At plea stage, before judgment of conviction. In some jurisdictions, the judge can defer sentencing, postpone entry of final judgment, and condition release on compliance with terms. Balance scale note: once a sentence is fully imposed, deferral is generally no longer possible. Appeals or post-conviction relief apply instead. Relief apply instead. Post-conviction relief apply instead. Prosecutor, district attorney/U.S. attorney. Holds the charging discretion, whether to prosecute or defer. Prosecutor may offer deferred prosecution agreements, DPAs, or non-prosecution agreements, NPAs, often for first-time or non-violent offenses.
So they're telling you here, you have other options. Why don't they offer these? Oh, that's right, because they want you to get sent up the river to Sing Sing, as they used to say in the old days. They don't want you. They make more money on the big stuff. Hey, Mr. Big Stuff. But you have the right to request. You would think that when you hire a lawyer, attorney, or whoever, they would give you all of your options. They just want, you are a number. You're not special. You're not even human in these moments to them. You are a number. You have to know your rights if you want them. And now you guys know you've got more options.
Offenses. Defense counsel, on behalf of defendant, can request or move the court for deferral, often as part of plea negotiations. Must argue legal basis, rehabilitation, no risk to public, interest of justice, statutory eligibility. Judge. Court can grant or deny a deferral, depending on jurisdiction. Judges typically cannot initiate a deferral sua sponte, on their own, without a motion, but in some states they may suggest it. Legislature, via statute. Some states mandate that certain offenders, e.g., first-time drug offenders, must be considered for deferred adjudication before harsher penalties are applied.
So, damn, they're even telling you that drug dealers, I know some of my drug dealers out there right now are like, man, all right, I know y'all have grown, but y'all should really not do drugs or sell them. Just saying, do what you got to do. I don't condone it. I know life is tough. Most things should be legal as long as you can handle it, but we'll leave it alone for now. Let's keep going. But what I'm trying to get you here is like, even though some of these things should be criminal, they're saying you can still do this. So that means that for the smaller things out there, the minor things, you should be requesting a deferral for it. I mean, if you want.
Prosecutor's deferral, pretrial diversion slash deferred prosecution. Agreement between prosecutor and defendant, judge usually approves. Purely in the executive branch's discretion, charging decision. Judicial discretion, court withholds conviction or sentence. Only available after a plea or finding of guilt. White heavy checkmark summary rule. Prosecutor controls charging deferrals. Judge controls sentencing slash adjudication deferrals. Defense can only request, never compel, it's discretionary.
All right, all right, all right. So now you guys know, once again, as I've been telling you guys for quite some time now, they're not giving you guys all of the options. They're not playing fair. They're playing, this is our game, and this is how we're going to do it. So take that, take that. Now, could one say that some people out there are going to use my information and abuse it? Sure. I had a lady all irate with me. Well, you're teaching people who are, there's gonna be bad people who are gonna use your stuff. Yeah, there are. But there's a whole lot more people out there who are good and who are getting remedy, their lives back, their kids back, themselves out of prison, jail, who don't deserve to be there, who've been railroaded by the system that's crooked. And if you're not one of them or you piss them off, they turn into little bitches and act petty. They hide behind the good judges, the good magistrates, the good law enforcement out there, the good district attorneys. They hide behind them, the line of secrecy, which then makes those other good ones look just as bad as the ones who do bad. I don't know about you guys, but I'm proud to be in America, and I'm proud to be an American, and I'm proud to be a Native American because I am native to America. GPO Style Manual, Section 5.23. Cornell Law EDU 8 U.S.C. 1401A. Cornell Law EDU 8 U.S.C. 1101A 22B. 8 FAM 301.1-1 letter B. 8 FAM 505.2 passport endorsements 09 internal code. I'm glad to see there's a lot of people out there starting to pick this knowledge up and use it. My feeds are being blown up. This is like a dream come true to see so many people getting down with this. But remember, there are some people out there who are doing it just for money, just to get the ladies, just for the fame and power. So be careful who you get your information from and what you at the end of the day do, because if you listen to someone's process and it ain't right, it'll get you muffed up. FUBAR, FUBAR, up beyond all recognition. Do not be on these streets acting as a combatant or belligerent. Follow the law, but do the law, do right by it. And if a cop or a judge or whoever else oversteps, then you step over them and go above them, because there's always somebody above them. And if that person's corrupt and a traitor to these United States of America, then we'll go above them, because at the top of the pyramid, though they'll have you think it's some municipality or government, gov to control, ment is mind, controlling your mind, is we the people. We the people at the top of the pyramid, we just didn't know it or we forgot it. So don't forget it. And don't forget yourselves. I'll get the light on the way out. You guys take care. I appreciate you. Have a good day and a better life. Talk to you soon. Wolf's out. Oh, hit that subscribe too.